Do we have a potentially competitive Republican primary happening in the 2026 Ohio governor's race? Well, this new article suggests that might just happen. Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over a National Review article of a poll released by one of Vivek Ramaswamy's top Republican primary challengers, and what the polls show is very interesting for what could be a competitive 2026 Republican primary. The article, written by Audrey Fallberg, begins by saying, former biotech CEO and 2024 GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy has gobbled up lots of media attention in recent weeks ahead of his long-anticipated 2026 run for Ohio governor, which he's expected to announce in the coming days after he parted ways last month with the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency, commonly known as DOGE. He's enjoyed frontrunner status in the media before formally launching his campaign for term-limited Republican Governor Mike DeWine's seat, with a pro-Ramaswamy group releasing a poll last month that showed the former presidential candidate winning the support of a majority of Republican primary voters and leading his closest competitor, Attorney General Dave Yost, by 34 points. In that poll, Yost had the support of 18% of GOP primary voters, with 27% of the voters remaining undecided, and two other prospective candidates, State Treasurer Robert Sprague at 2% and 2022 Lieutenant Governor candidate Jeremiah Workman at 1%. But a new polling memo from Yost gubernatorial campaign team argues that Ramaswamy's frontrunner status is softer than many may think, and that Trump's endorsement will be a determinative factor in the primary. A new survey of 602 likely Republican primary voters, conducted in early February by the pro-Yost polling firm National Public Affairs, NPA, shows that on an uninformed ballot, Ramaswamy leads 46% of likely GOP voters to Yost 18%, with 34% undecided, and Sprague and Workman at 1% each. But according to the same memo, Yost support grows up to 30% on an informed ballot when survey respondents are provided more background information on the candidates, while Ramaswamy falls to 31%, with 36% remaining undecided. And the other two Republicans hardly register in the poll as well. The memo suggests Yost's lead grows even more when an informed ballot is paired with President Donald Trump's endorsement, with Yost leading Ramaswamy by 20 points in that hypothetical scenario. Quote, while Yost enjoys broad support across demographic groups, the Attorney General overperforms among traditional conservative Republicans and evangelical Protestants, two key components of the Republican primary base in Ohio, NPA partner Justin Clark wrote in a February 18th polling memo shared with the National Review. It should not come as a surprise that Ramaswamy has high name ID, having run on the national stage against President Trump and having worked on the transition team before abandoning the Trump administration to fulfill his own political ambitions. Again, you can kind of tell by the wording this is written by someone that wants Dave Yost to win. Our findings indicate that this early advantage is a, quote, sugar high driven by a pre-inauguration media saturation that led to high name ID and perceived association with President Trump. The memo continues, and the survey is clear that the voters align closest to the candidate that receives the backing of President Trump, whoever that candidate is. I mean, again, the next paragraph is kind of going to put that away, but whatever. It's of course very early in the race, and the president has yet to pick a favorite in the primary. Yeah, okay. Yost is well known in the state, a former two-term state auditor, first elected as Ohio's Attorney General in 2018. He has won 4 consecutive statewide elections since 2010. But Ramaswamy has many early advantages, including relationships in Trump's world, a team of political advisors with years of experience working in Vice President J.D. Vance's orbit, millions in personal funds he can use to finance a campaign, and a major social media following to spread his message, including more than 3.5 million followers on X. What's more, 2 Ohio Republicans long considered prospective gubernatorial candidates have already endorsed Ramaswamy and found different statewide lanes: two-term Secretary of State Frank LaRose, who is running for state auditor, and State Treasurer Robert Sprague, who is seeking LaRose's current seat. Ohio has had quite the political reshuffling in recent years, with freshman Republican Senator Bernie Moreno recently ousting longtime Senator Sherrod Brown in November, and DeWine then tapping Lieutenant Governor Jon Husted 2 months later to fill Vice President Vance's U.S. Senate seat. Ohio will hold a special election for the final 2 years of Vance's 6-year term in 2026. Okay, so now here's where I differ with, obviously, okay, so the poll itself is by the firm that supports Attorney General Dave Yost. So I'm not surprised one bit that the article is written friendly, or not the article itself, but the polling firm memo is written in favor of Yost. But the article makes a big claim here that I 100% disagree with, which is that President Trump, yes, it is true he has not endorsed Vivek Ramaswamy in this race, but it goes off the assumption that Trump would even consider endorsing Yost over Ramaswamy, which at this point in time, I just think it's completely not going to happen. In large part due to the fact that, as the article mentioned, many of J.D. Vance's political team is working for Vivek Ramaswamy in this race, including, I believe, a top pollster who worked on President Trump's campaign for 2024. The chances that Donald Trump would go against Vivek Ramaswamy, who did help President Trump in his campaign get elected president and was going to work in the Doge administration before running for governor, the fact that Trump would then flip on him and endorse his opponent in the Republican primary, I think the chances of that at best for Yost are slim to none. And right now, Vivek Ramaswamy and Dave Yost, these are the top two candidates in the primary. And I understand what the article and what the poll is saying, that if Trump were to endorse him, that the primary would get very, very close because Trump's endorsement holds such weight in Republican primaries. But I just don't imagine a world where Yost could realistically get the endorsement of President Trump when both Trump and Vance are already very close to Vivek Ramaswamy, and Vance's political team is helping Ramaswamy get elected. So I think Yost getting Trump's endorsement at best would be considered very wishful thinking. But that doesn't stop the fact that one thing the poll said is true. In hypothetical polling right now, in that poll, there's about 35% undecided, and there is a lot of undecided vote that if Yost was able to win them all, there is enough room for him to actually win this primary against Ramaswamy. But Ramaswamy holds a commanding lead over the Republican field right now, and if President Trump was going to endorse anyone in this race, I think it's more likely than not it would be Vivek Ramaswamy, and that would put Yost's chances at winnings essentially to bed, where you have no path to getting a majority of the vote in the primary, which I think is probably the only way he could probably win. But it's interesting that it's starting to shape the narrative in Ohio, where it's going to be essentially Vivek Ramaswamy versus Dave Yost in all likelihood, and that is where the competitiveness in the primary is going to go. How I think this shapes out is I do think Vivek Ramaswamy will get the endorsement of either President Trump or Vice President J.D. Vance, or potentially both, as they've already raked up 3 senators, Marsha Blackburn, Mike Lee, and Rick Scott, endorsing Vivek Ramaswamy. And I think Vivek's going to win this primary, and it's not going to be that close in all likelihood. And I think Trump and Vance's endorsement will probably come, maybe not too soon, but maybe like a month or so before the primary, so it really has that lasting effect for Vivek in voters' minds. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Maybe it does, but I don't really think it will until a few weeks before. As for how the governor's race will go at the general election level, some Democrats have expressed interest. Amy Acton, the former director of Ohio Department of Health, is running. Tim Ryan, the former U.S. representative, could run, as well as Senator Sherrod Brown. Cook Political Report has it listed as likely Republican. Inside Elections has it as solid. In my own personal rankings right now, I have it starting out as likely Republican, which is just a bit under 15% margin of victory, but over 5% margin of victory. I think it probably goes somewhere around 10 to 12 points margin of victory right now, with Vivek Ramaswamy at the top of the ticket. So I want to do this video because I thought this was an interesting conversation, because the poll aligned with Yost obviously is going to speak highly of Yost and bad of Ramaswamy, but the poll does show that at very least this primary could potentially get competitive, especially if Trump decides to stay neutral in the primary. I'm not sure he will. I doubt the article saying that, or the pollster saying that that won't happen. I don't think Trump is going to stay neutral in the primary, but we'll have to wait and see how that develops. But a very interesting situation nonetheless. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like. Remember to hit subscribe and share with your friends and family. Make sure to leave a comment below as well. That'll do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you in a future video. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned, because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.